In this video, I'll demonstrate concurrent debugging on the PolarFire SoC Discovery Kit, where hardware and software visibility come together in real time. We'll run firmware on the Mi-V Soft CPU using SoftConsole, set breakpoints, and at the same time monitor internal FPGA signals using Identify Me. The goal is to show how engineers can correlate software execution with live hardware behavior, helping reduce debug time and improve system-level understanding. Let me quickly walk you through the hardware setup used for concurrent debugging. In this configuration, we use two independent JTAG connections. One JTAG path is dedicated to Identify Me, which is used for hardware signal monitoring, and this is handled by the embedded FlashPro 5 on the board. The second JTAG path is provided through an external FlashPro 5, which connects via the Raspberry Pi GPIO header. This separate connection allows SoftConsole to debug the Mi-V processor without interfering with the hardware probing activity. On the left, I've also included the reference pin mapping, showing how the Raspberry Pi GPIO pins are wired to the external FlashPro 5, including TCK, TMS, TDI, and TDO. Before we begin concurrent debugging, the first step is to download the Mi-V reference design for the Discovery Kit from GitHub. We'll make a few essential updates to the reference design to align it with our debugging setup, and then program the design onto the hardware. If you'd like to follow the exact flow, I've added a detailed step-by-step guide in the description so you can replicate this design at your end. In this original architecture, you can see the CoreGPIO debug IP instantiated in the design. At a high level, the purpose of CoreGPIO debug is to provide fabric access to the JTAG interface through the JTAG tab as shown here. However, since the Mi-V processor already includes its own debug capability, this core JTAG debug block is optional and can be removed from the design if it is not required. Instead, the Mi-V JTAG signals are routed directly to the GPIO header, where an external FlashPro provides a dedicated debug connection. This allows us to keep embedded FlashPro 5 available for Identify Me, while SoftConsole connects independently to the Mi-V processor through external FlashPro 5. Let's promote the Mi-V debug ports to the top level. I'm not promoting TRS-TN since it's optional, but if needed, you can also promote it to the top level. Now click on Generate Component and then click on Build Hierarchy. Next, go to Design Hierarchy and open Manage Constraints. Under Timing Constraints, open the IO JTAG Constraints STC file. Here we need to update the signal naming. Change the TCK reference to JTAG_TCK. Since the core JTAG debug block was removed earlier, the Mi-V JTAG nets now carry the JTAG prefix. So instead of the original net name TCK, the correct reference becomes JTAG_TCK. Once the editing is done, click on Derive Constraints to update the timing constraints. Then synthesize the design by double-clicking Synthesize in the design flow. Next, we'll map the JTAG IO to the Raspberry Pi header. Open Constraint Manager. Go to IO Attributes and click Edit with IO Editor. Next, assign the correct pin numbers to the JTAG signals so they align with the Raspberry Pi header. For this, refer to the Discovery Kit schematic manual to verify the exact pin mapping. From the manual, we can see that the interface connects to GPIO Bank 1, which runs at 3.3 volts. Therefore, we need to update the IO standard in the IO editor to match this voltage level. Click on IO Bank Settings. Select Bank 1 from the drop-down menu and set VDD to 3.3 volts. Then click OK. After that, change the I/O standard for all the JTAG ports. Next, assign the appropriate pin numbers to the JTAG ports by referencing the board schematic manual. Once the changes are done, click Save and close the constraint editor. Check the tick box to implement the new I/O PDC during place and route, and then click Save. Now right-click on Synthesize and select Open Interactively. Then create a new Identify implementation by right-clicking on the existing synthesis implementation and selecting New Identify implementation. Let's call this implementation GPIO_1 and then click OK. Now let's capture some live data moving through the fabric. In this example, we'll monitor the data written by the soft CPU to the CoreGPIO inside the Mi-V extended subsystem. Now return to the Simplify Pro window, right-click on the new Identify implementation, and choose Identify Instrumentation. Select the CoreGPIO instance inside the Mi-V ESS. The related signals will appear on the right side, where you can choose which ones to instrument. Right-click on P-Clock and set it as the sample clock. Then right-click on P-Enable, P-Write, and P-Select and configure each of them as sample and trigger signals. Also configure P-Address, PW-Data, and GPIO out as sample-only signals. Click on ICE type to edit the ICE settings. Set the sample depth to 1024 and enable data compression. Then click OK and save the Identify implementation. And close this window. Click OK when prompted to save the changes. Now go back to Simplify Pro and rerun synthesis for the newly created implementation. Once synthesis is complete, close the window. When we return to the project, it will automatically import the netlist for the synthesized design. Next, click on Run Program Action to program the design onto the Discovery Kit. Next, open SoftConsole and import the core timer project. We'll place a breakpoint at the GPIO update line, where GPIO_pins_state is written, so we can capture and analyze the fabric activity during runtime. Now build the project. Next, click Run to open Debug Configurations. Choose Interrupt Hardware Debug and then navigate to the Debugger tab. Next, update the configuration options by adding two settings. Set FPGA_tab to N and specify the serial number of the external FlashPro Express to ensure the correct debugger connection. Next, click Debug. The application will start in debug mode and execution will pause automatically at the first line of main. Now go back to the project and click on Identify Debug Design. Select your instrumented core under Mi-V ESS. Set up the trigger by selecting P-Select, P-Enable, and P-Write to High. Also, set the trigger position to the start of the buffer and click Run. Here you can see that our instrumented design is waiting for the trigger. Also, you can verify here that Identify ME is using the embedded FlashPro in the kit. Now let's give trigger from SoftConsole. Before that, we can also verify that SoftConsole is using the external FlashPro Express. The kit video is on the right. Please keep an eye on the four corner LEDs which are currently off. As we proceed, these LEDs will help us verify that the trigger condition is met and that the design is functioning as expected. Now click Resume. You will see that the code stops at a breakpoint, and as expected, none of the LEDs will turn on. Go back to Identify, and you can see that the samples are being downloaded. Open GTK Wave to view the captured signals, and change the data format to hex. You will see that GPIO underscore out is 0, which is expected. Now go back to the Identify window and click Run. You will see that it is waiting for the trigger again. Then go back to SoftConsole, provide the necessary trigger by clicking Resume. You can see on the right that the corner LEDs are lighting up. We will now go back to Identify and observe the behavior. Even if we do not have the hardware in front of us, we can verify that our application is interacting correctly with the hardware by checking whether Identify has successfully captured the signals. Click on GTK Wave and change the data format to hex. And you will see that GPIO underscore out now changes from 0 to 1. With this, we have successfully verified the hardware behavior using Identify and SoftConsole together. Thank you for your time. And I hope this walkthrough helped you understand the complete debug flow clearly.